Hey everybody, Charlie here with Pryor Media, and I have to make this video. I've never been happier to be proven wrong. Like, it has been just, I feel really terrible because I have been like giving people a really hard time about this, I feel, and needlessly because I was wrong the whole time. And I wanted to also clarify this both for myself as well as for my clients that have been asking about it, because I literally, over a dozen, I think, is probably an appropriate number. Over a dozen people have asked me, how do I do this? And I've had to tell them that you cannot do it in Cornerstone because it's just not the way Cornerstone works, and without knowing the way like Cornerstone would do such a thing. So this is all about the fact that there is no nesting of content bands in Cornerstone. If you're used to using Visual Composer, which is what this interface here is, you'll know that we can make 2 rows in a column, or 3 rows, 3 columns, sorry. 3 column rows or 2 column rows, and we can have content bands nested inside those if we want multiple different types of columns to come from that. And that was a pretty flexible workflow, and we've been getting by with that for quite a while, since as long as we've had Visual Composer. And the thing that gets people is that with Cornerstone, if I go to the Cornerstone Editor, with Cornerstone, like if I make a new section, for example, I'll just make a new section at the bottom here. I can make this section at the bottom multiple rows as well, but what I can't do is put a row inside this. I can't do that. And that has been like this really big limitation, I always thought, is the fact that I can't have something like, you know, like an interface that's similar to this build where we have a big content band right here or whatever. Then there's this 2 column row, but I've got 2 buttons that are block in the middle of it. And then I also can have like a headline and then a block of 2 buttons and then some text again, like that. I've just never known how to do that. And today, in like probably, well, really, in hindsight, it's probably a post I shouldn't even comment on because I didn't even really understand the question, apparently. And that led to me discovering this, or at least being told about a solution to this problem. So I want to go ahead and show you guys the solution, the way that Cornerstone does it. And I think you'll like this. I think you'll like this more than the alternative with content bands, because content bands are admittedly quite clunky. I'm just going to call this block grid. That should give you a clue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this page with Cornerstone, and we're going to try to mimic this build here. Now, as a reference, this build here, this little section here, took me roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes to make, and that was by doing it as quickly as I possibly could with no cleanup, just so I can make this video with it. So we can sort of compare how long it would take to do that over here. Before I begin, I need to get the right page layout for this. So I'm going to do that. That's probably good. We'll go ahead and save this. And okay, we've got this Cornerstone thing going on. Okay. So what we have here is we've got 2 sections, 1, 2. So easily just make that 1, 2. And then this section has a background image, and that background image is like this, you know, well, the thing that X has on their front page for their demo. So there's that. Then we've got a custom headline inside that. So I'll just go ahead and do C. Where is it? Where is it? Custom headline. There it is. And I'm just going to take the custom headline. I'm going to write no nesting of content bands. What? I'm just going to write custom. I'm just going to leave it as custom headlines, but I don't have to type that whole thing out. The important thing here, though, is that you're going to see this section, which is the most important thing. So I'm just going to write color white. Now it's white, and I can align it to the right. Boom, done. Okay, so had I typed something different, that's how it would show up. So here we have this part, and this is where the magic is happening, and the part that I did not know how to do at all. All right. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I'm wrong. Okay, section 2, we're going to make this 2 columns. And then in this column here, I mean, this column is easy. We're just going to add an image, right? That's piece of cake. I am image done. And I'll just go ahead and make this this image that I have. Okay, so in this part, we're going to make the headline first. So first it's a custom headline. So I'll just do the same thing here. I'll just go custom headline. And I'm just going to leave it typed as custom headline because, again, it doesn't really truly matter to me what it looks like. But we're going to center it, and I'm going to put MTN on the class. If you're wondering why I put MTN on the class, go ahead and watch my latest YouTube video, I guess before this one came out. We actually talk all about spacing and how to space things out and position things properly using the class index. Pretty cool. So go ahead and check that out. Okay, so we've got this part here. I've also got some text, and I'm going to just do that first. Yeah, elements. We're just going to go all the way down to text, and we're going to add that text to this. And I'm just going to copy it. I don't have to type it again. So do this, paste the text in here, and call it good, and then we're going to center it. Okay, so here's the part that I missed. We don't have the ability to put another row inside this column. That's what we were doing with Visual Composer. We have this content band inside the column. Instead, there is a block grid element right here. It's the fourth thing, and I've been looking over it like all the time. I've been just looking over it, not knowing exactly what it does. I was interpreting this as being useful, or at least being used like other themes use it, where it's like this 4-box grid and you can just, you know, add pictures to it or something. But this is completely different. We're going to drag block grid in. I'm going to drag it between custom headline and this text, and I get these 2 columns. And I get the option to do columns 2, 3, or 4. Now with Visual Composer, this same thing exists. So if I go to Visual Composer and go to block grid, the same thing exists, except it doesn't really have this visual look to it, so I never really knew. It's just sort of this box. And there's the option between 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So there's an extra thing, but I don't really know how often people would use 5 here. Maybe if you had some sponsors and you wanted to, like, you know, we are sponsored by Nike, Adidas, you know, whatever. You might do 5, but this gives you the option to 4. When you add 4, you can just add up to 4 things. So if I want these 2 buttons here, for example, I would just go ahead and delete these 2 block items, go to 2, stretch them out, and then this item, look at that. See that? It's a text area. Now, you don't get to put elements in there, no. But you can incorporate X shortcodes. So I can use my shortcode builder here, go to marketing, button, and I'll just say button 1. And there's button 1. I'm not gonna worry about the sizing of it too much, don't really care. Block and insert. And just like that, I've got button 1. See that? That's crazy. So I'll just go ahead and highlight this whole button here. We'll zoom out of the inspector, go back into block grid item 2, and we're just gonna add the second one. And I can add button 2 to the text there. And that's it. It's done. You're actually able to pull that off. So I want to say, first off, I'm sorry for everyone at ThemeCode that I said that and stuff, and I'm sorry for being such a pain in the ass. But I also wanted to let people also know that this is a very early tool, and so there's going to be a lot of people like me who don't know how to do things. And one of the biggest things that I think would be super helpful is having, it's ironic, having people like me who can show other people how to do things like this. Particularly and hopefully at ThemeCode, we can get some videos or get some better documentation on this new tool. I understand it's very early and you're still working out little kinks, and you don't want to have a bunch of video tutorials that will eventually be obsolete. I understand that part. So maybe it's probably best for now that a bunch of YouTubers make videos on this stuff. But I would really hope, just like you had previously, and you don't have anymore, I found. It's really strange. Your knowledge base no longer has videos on Visual Composer. I didn't see that either. Maybe I missed that too. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope this helps somebody, because that block grid item, it's right here, the fourth one. It just snuck up on me. I have no idea why. I knew about columnize, right? I knew about this one. But this one, it acts differently. You just type in this box and it makes columns for you. It's not the same as this block grid element, which is kind of what I looked at. I looked at columnize because I saw, oh yeah, columnize, but block grid. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.